Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, JEONG SINAH, and today we're going to be doing a 1v1 battle. This is a training battle. I'm going to be the blue Confederate player facing off against wchsinvite R. They are going to be the red Resistance player. So let's get into it. We can see that I am teching up to each Q3 at this point in the battle. We can see that wchsinvite R is putting some early pressure with some coyotes and infantry. This isn't meant to be a full-on rush here. Just putting a little bit of pressure here is something I anticipated, so I had a rocket tower that was put down. We can see that wchsinvite is still HQ2 at this time and producing units. Meanwhile, I'm just continuing to put down infrastructure. My plan is to go for a mix of infantry with hammer tanks and cyclones as needed. Got my first hammer tank out. I'm going to take care of the coyotes here, and I'm going to use my hammer tank to finish off the infantry. So we can see that I'm going to get a special vehicle factory out as well, just in case I need to get some typhoons out. And I'm going to start upgrading my barracks here. So I'm sending a cyclone over. Let's get a scout onto the red player's base, and we can see red is getting some units out there for base defense. And we can see that at this point I've got 7 supply centers, so pretty good economy overall. Got a small ground army that has been made so far. Gonna move a cyclone over, and look at this. We can see that there's a lot of armadillos, and wchsinvite R is going for the mass mines here for the camping strategy. Now this cyclone over the cliff is arguably going to be the single most important scout that I use in the entire game. It's going to allow me to see what my opponent is up to for the duration of the game. I decided to use this moment to try and attack here. I've got full command points at HQ3, trying something a little bit different. I usually don't like to attack this soon. And here we go. We can see that wchsinvite R is going for a mix of armadillos with snipers. Couple porcupines in the mix as well. My hammer tanks are moving in. I've lost all of my fire assaults. These snipers are incredibly strong, most likely maxed for rank, and they are dishing out some steady damage against my vehicles here, so I can't quite break through here at this time. So my scout cyclone has actually moved into the fray to support my units here, but those porcupines are coming in, the snipers are coming in, and I'm going to go ahead and try to counter once again. Trying to move in to see if I can take out the assault vehicle factory here. The level 2 factory, I've almost got the factory, but I can't quite get it. We can see there's a lot of infantry in the mix there for wchsinvite R, and hammer tanks alone are not good enough to fight against infantry. So I'm going to start to mix in a few more cyclones. Once again, moving another cyclone over the top of the cliff, we see the red player putting down some more mines. Here comes another push from the red player. We see there are tons of snipers in the mix here. So my hammer tanks are able to take care of the armored vehicles, but I am left trying to fight a ton of snipers, and this is not quite working out in my favor here. These snipers are dishing out steady damage against the hammers, and I'm trying to reinforce here with some fire assaults, but I don't have enough fire assaults to fully break the red player, and my fire assaults are getting sniped in mid-air. So my hammer tanks are moving in once again. I'm trying to go for the fast win here just to try out something different, but I don't think it's going to work out in this case. Trying to get that assault vehicle factory, and I finally get the factory, but it's going to cost me a few hammer tanks to do it. I'm trying to reinforce my attack here, but at this point I am losing momentum fast. I've only got less than 40 command points worth of units, and red is just continuing to aggressively push with the combination of grenadiers, snipers, armadillos, and porcupines. So we can see I've got a gold supply boost going. I'm trying to get some more economy going just so I can get some more units out. We can see that the red player is now dropping down some more factories. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my build here a little bit. I'm going to try out going for some fortresses, cyclones, and fire assaults with a few hammer tanks mixed in. So this is a very different build from what I usually do, because I don't usually use fortresses en masse. So gold common attack boost, here we go. We can see that this is not great positioning for me. Red's got a very good concave on my troops here, and this was not a good move on my part. My Cyclones are trying to dish out damage against the snipers, but there's too many snipers, and Porcupines just zoning out the Cyclones. And Fortresses are not maxed out, and you can see that they are really quite terrible against these infantry. So Fortresses in general are not my go-to if I'm trying to go for large-scale attacks. So I'm going to try and secure the large resource container here. I am going to get those resources though. They're going to come in handy just producing some more troops here. And we can see that wchsinvite R is going to put down a couple of sniper towers for base defense. And we can see that there's more units coming in from the red player. Red's still trying to keep me away from the base. We can see that I'm going for max HQ4 army. Here comes Red though. Red's launching a counterattack this time. Armadillo's trying to move in on the base, but I've got that rocket tower, and I'm starting to go for Zeus tanks here. I've realized that hammer tanks are just not cutting it against these snipers, so I need to go for the durability. And look at my fortresses, they are just getting slaughtered by those infantry. So it's another reminder for why I don't like to use fortresses personally, because my fortresses are not maxed. And we can see that there's a lot of infantry in the mix here, but I've got a decent amount of Cyclones here. There's only a couple Porcupines in the mix. My Cyclones are getting singled out though, so I need to be careful with my Cyclones. I'm going to go ahead and move my Zeus tanks in. And my Zeus tanks are going to be supported by the shield generator. Zeus are usually not the go-to for fighting infantry, but the Zeus tanks have the advantage over hammers in terms of durability. And we can see that the snipers are dishing steady damage, but it's not a lot of damage. My Cyclone over the cliff there just continuing to scout the red player out. So I'm able to track the red player's moves. So we're able to clean up this attack pretty handily here using the Cyclones and the Zeus tanks. But we can tell that this is not going to be the last bit for the red player. Red is transitioning into a mix of Jaguar tanks with snipers. So my plan now is to get more Zeus tanks out. I've got Cyclones as well to support, and I've got some fire assaults that I'm considering throwing into the mix as well. I'm going to go ahead and move my troops now into position. My fortress is coming in now, trying to see if we can detect any mines there. And look at this, we've got plenty of mines on the ground from the red player. My Zeus tanks are moving into position though, trying to get a concave on the red player. And here comes Red. Red attempting to do the direct engagement. So I put my Zeus tanks on hold. I want to hold this concave. And here comes Red. Red trying to do the direct engagement, and this is not a good move. Red does not have a chameleon to cover those tanks. And the Jaguar tanks are just getting crushed by my Zeus tanks. These Zeus tanks are dishing out really good damage against the red player's army. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. We're going to hit some mines, but I'm okay with that. I was able to take out some of the mines with the explosion radius. And now we can see a chameleon activate for the red player. I'm going to throw on my shield generator, and this is my opportunity to do some force firing onto the fog there. So I'm trying to aim for the front of the fog there to try and hit the units inside the fog. And I'm just trying to keep my force fire moving around the fog. We can see there's not a lot of Jaguar fire coming out of the fog there. And Red's under some pressure here from my Zeus tanks. Dishing out some steady damage. We can see that I am HQ5 at this time, and I've got over 100 command points worth of units. And we can see the Zeus tanks still continuing to dish out steady damage. We can see there's a couple Jaguar tanks in the mix, but they are just getting slaughtered by the Zeus tanks. Red is now trying to spam as much infantry as possible to counter against my Zeus tanks. The special vehicle factory is going to go down, so whatever was in production there is not going to be of use to the red player. And we're going to see here that there's more grenadiers slowly starting to come in. I'm trying to take out the assault vehicle factory to cut the Jaguar tank production, and I'm going to get one of the factories very nicely done. We can see that there's more units starting to come in from the red player. Red is desperately trying to spam enough units to cover the front of their base, but my tanks are still making steady progress here. I've still got good momentum, but I'm slowly starting to run out of momentum here. Zeus tanks do take time to produce, and I'm starting to run out of resources to continue to fast production. We can see that Red is also HQ5 at this time with a level 3 factory for assault and special as well. And we can see that I've only got a handful of Zeus tanks left here. Units are still straggling in, still putting that pressure on the red player. We're already 30 minutes into the game. We got a pretty good engagement going overall. Red still trying to move in for the counterattack now. We've got Zeus tanks still firing onto the red player, trying to cut that production down. But I'm going to go ahead and retreat. I just don't have enough units to keep pressing. So we're going to hold here and just produce units and try to replenish my army before we make another push. And we can see that red is now trying to replenish their army. Now, red is only down to 1 assault vehicle factory for Jaguar production. I, on the other hand, have 3 assault vehicle factories, and it's coming in handy. Look at the size of my army. I was able to replenish pretty nicely here. This fog trying to move in to counter my army here, but it is not going to be enough here. And we can see that I'm doing some steady force fire as needed. We can see my torrent is also firing into the fog there. My units are now slowly advancing onto the red player. Red just does not have any units inside the fog. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and start to clean up the rest of the red player's base. And red's still trying to defend with a few more units here, but it's not going to work out. I have over 100 command points worth of units, and my units are steadily streaming in. Assault vehicle factory goes down, and at this point, it is good game. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this battle. This was a fun one to fight. Good luck in your battles. We will see you in the next one.